Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to Earth. Hey, friends. It is the week of May 26th to June 2nd, and we're so excited to give you your weekly forecast. I'm Tali here in Seattle today.
And Ophi in New York, and we are twinning again. High Gemini season is upon us, so it's perfect timing. How are you doing? How are you doing with all this new energy that's coming in?
Big Gemini energy, so much new energy. I mean, we were kind of in this Taurus phase for, a whole year with Jupiter in Taurus and then a bunch of Taurus planets throughout the spring. But last week, the Sun and then Venus and then the big news, Jupiter moved into Gemini and took us out of this very process-oriented earthy energy into this curious, communicative Gemini energy. And it's been pretty frenetic. Have you felt ungrounded a little bit? I've been having to do a lot of grounding exercises.
Yeah. And we went from that, embodied earth to mental air. So I've noticed and I've heard a lot of people talking about like waking up with spinning thoughts and almost like a simulated Mercury retrograde happening to their electronics and appliances and things breaking. And, Jupiter is in what's called detriment in Gemini. So because Jupiter rules the opposite sign of Gemini, Sagittarius. So it's a little uncomfortable. It's sort of like wearing a too tight pair of pants for Jupiter to be in Gemini.
Intergalactic wedgie. Ow.
Oh my God, that hurts.
Yeah.
We'll spare you the Uranus jokes now for that one. That one's still in Taurus, sitting around, not yet getting a wedgie, but next year.
Next year preview. It does.
For now, we've got Jupiter there, and so it's a time when our minds are going to be very active, and we're going to suddenly probably become aware of a lot of things that we've ignored. I feel like Taurus is really good at kind of hyper focusing and prioritizing, whereas Gemini has eyes and ears for everything. The job of Gemini is really to notice all the pieces, and Taurus kind of can filter it out. So if you suddenly feel like you have even more to do after feeling like you had too much to do to handle, I think that would be the Gemini effect.
And it doesn't help that Mars is in Aries until July either. So we're really in this go mode for all of June. Fortunately, this week we have a Pisces quarter moon phase, which we'll talk about in a minute. But first, wanted to send out a big thank you to everybody who pre-ordered their copy of the Astrology Advantage, our new book that officially is out on August 27th, but is now available for pre-order. And thanks to everyone who pre-ordered. We were #1 new release on Amazon in the astrology section. So Very exciting. Now, the Astrology Advantage is basically your short code. It's like, Ophi, you say the Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, and your birth chart had a baby, right?
Yeah. We noticed that people have really wanted to use astrology as a tool for their busy lives with all the decisions that they make. For many years, we just did readings and did horoscopes, but as wellness became a popular topic in society and then a requirement of work, people, thank God, are talking about managing stress and emotional and mental health and spirituality more openly. And it's merged into the world of work and our everyday lives. It's not like you work hard and then you go home and exercise and take care of your soul at, church or temple. It's like people are wanting to live integrated lives. And at the same time, they don't have the bandwidth and hard drive space always to memorize their charts. They know the value of astrology. They want to tap into the full power of their charts, but it's a lot to remember. You really have to dedicate yourself to that. We know we've been teaching our Become Your Own Astrologer course all spring, and it's been amazing to work with people and share all of our knowledge. But at the same time, it really does require a certain amount of dedicated study and, it's so fun to geek out, but you don't always have time to do that.
And even if
And
you do, it's helpful to
yeah,
just short code, because what we did with the Astrology Advantage is we made an algorithm that takes your full birth chart. It takes all the planets, the sun, moon, also your rising north and south nodes, so 13 points. And it puts them in a blender, basically, and out comes your primary archetype. We call it the I am system. You're either an innovator, which is mostly cardinal signs, in authority, which means you have mostly fixed signs in your chart, and or a maven, mostly mutable. So I am stands for innovator, authority, or maven. Some people are hybrids of both, but we're working with, a lot of people work with the elements, fire, earth, air, and water, but an equally powerful division system are the modalities or the qualities, the cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and then the mutable signs, which are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. We all, if you've done your chart, which you definitely should do, at astrostyle.com/birth chart. And then you should also do your IM after that at astrostyle.com/IM. But if you've done your chart, you know that you aren't just one sign. You're not just a Gemini or a Scorpio. You contain multitudes. Every planet is in a different place based on your moment of birth, and it's very precise. We're 4 minutes apart, and we don't even have the exact same chart, so it's really precise to you. And so who can remember all those things when you're under stress? You're not going to be like, oh my god, my Saturn's in Gemini conjunct this, and you want to know, I'm an innovator, so I am future focused. This is the strength I draw on to find a solution. So we created those types for you, but it uses your whole chart. And anyways, we're going to be teaching you more about it through the summer, but thank you everyone who pre-ordered the Astrology Advantage. And
yeah, we did a reading giveaway and a person won like that quickly. So we added another one, so you can still be entered into a second drawing to win a reading with us for pre-ordering the hardcover. And we'll drop the link in the show notes for how to do that, as well as how to do your birth chart and find your I am archetype. The point is, we love making astrology useful, practical, simple, and accessible for you anytime. And this book is really something we've been working toward sharing with the world for the last, I'd say, 7 or 8 years. Finding the dominant energy in your chart empowers you to make better decisions that are aligned with who you are, how you like to operate in the world, and helps you move better through all these many transits that are happening, all these changes that we're going through. So the predictive astrology, which we're going to get back to now, is really shifting into this very mutable or maven-y energy. This week, a lot of Gemini. We just had a Sagittarius full moon. We have a Pisces quarter moon. So it's about movement. So you may find things that have maybe been stuck or stagnant for a minute too start to really you start to hear from people that you haven't heard from, or remember someone that you should be writing back or wanted to get in touch with who might be a good collaborator for you.
yeah, the pace is absolutely picking up right now. Now, thankfully, Thursday, we do have a quarter moon in Pisces. Pisces is a mutable sign. It's a maven-y sign, like Gemini, but its energy is much more. Gemini's social, in your face, curious, let's talk. Pisces, like, let me flow back, let me meditate, let me go and journal and make some art and take a nap and see how this sits with me. So Pisces is the dreamer, the intuitive, and that's something we need to get into a quiet space a lot of times to tap into. So there is a cacophony going on right now with all the Gemini planets, but what you want to make sure you do is also carve out some space for solitude and reflection. It's also easy to get swept up in peer pressure when planets are in Gemini, so you have to go. Pisces, that quarter moon is also about kind of balancing what's right for me, how much do I can I you don't have to go to extremes, you don't have to go on some vipassana silent meditation. You
It's
could really
just
just
for a
do
day. It's really just for a day.
yeah,
But Gemini is very left-brained and Pisces is very right-brained. So, it actually is a good day for meditation, music, dance, jump in the pool now that Memorial Day has happened and the beaches and the pools are open. Go near water or somewhere where there's like a watery flow where you can take in but also release. Because again, Gemini, I think of like Gemini actually literally does rule things with wheels. And I just get this image of these gears turning in our minds and our thoughts cycling and cycling. And Pisces is like, let some of that go, clear some space. It's the last sign of the zodiac. We had some really big ideas at the Sagittarius full moon, some big visions, but maybe we haven't actually acted on them or like filtered out the ones that seemed like a great idea in that impulsive, spontaneous Sagittarius moment, but maybe aren't truly a fit for our soul's deepest purpose. This is a really good time for reflecting which of those are worth keeping. Quarter moons are good for sorting the gems out of the pile too. So, I
but
mean, yeah, it's
yeah,
funny because I know like Gemini is also writing. So, and I think of
mm,
Pisces as a subconscious. So, journaling and dream journaling could be good this week. I have not journaled in years. And at the start of Gemini season, probably sensing Jupiter's move into Gemini, um, I literally was like, maybe I should do some morning pages. I've got way too many thoughts. So, if you've never done morning pages, many people know the artist's way. What is it, 40 years, 30 years old now?
maybe
Um,
more actually. I don't know.
yeah, written by a Pisces, I believe, Julia Cameron. So it's a great, great book to get in touch with that inner voice and inner artist. Great beachy read for Pisces quarter moon week. But
Absolutely.
let's talk about this weekend because we've got, something really big that's happening on June 2nd, which is Jupiter and Pluto coming together in a trine, 120-degree angle of harmony and cooperation. So Jupiter is now in Gemini newly. It will be for a week when this happens. And Pluto is relatively newly in Aquarius. And every 4 to 8 years, these planets will meet like this. So it's a rare instance. Jupiter's the illuminator, the supersizer, the expander, and then Pluto is it's like the laser, the microscope, the digger under the surface. So imagine like the image of going into a cave with a really powerful headlamp to illuminate the treasures that might be there.
I like to say Jupiter reveals, Pluto conceals.
So whatever has been concealed may be hidden. So this is a weekend to excavate some buried treasure. And in air signs, which again are about ideas and communication and connection, it could be a relationship. It could be a conversation that reveals that. It could be something that pops up in your journal. I mean, back to those morning pages from The Artist's Way, she talks about blurts. Like what'll happen is when you just kind of automatic write, don't think, just let your hand do the writing, something will be blurted out. And it can be really revealing. So one of
I
the
love
things,
the I
yeah,
love the idea with automatic writing of asking a question and then letting your hand do the writing, kind of with this new Gemini energy, being in dialogue with who knows, your guides, your spirit, your
parts of
high
yourself.
yeah, higher mind. Like what's a question, what's something that you are like stuck on or spinning your wheels on, try asking it and then letting your hand move across the page and see what
Yeah.
comes up.
Now, not like last week, we talked about some of the predictions from our 2024 horoscope book that came true. And if you don't have your 2024 horoscope book yet, we've got a special 50% off sale this week because so many of those predictions in there are really just getting started. That's the thing. It's a funny thing because we write this book and release it November the year before, and like people buy them in the early part of the year. But truly, some of the biggest news of the year doesn't happen until later. And you really want to be armed with that all year long. So we have a lot of predictions about what Jupiter and Gemini is going to do for public education, politics, global alliances. Jupiter is the global planet. Gemini is local as well as alliances. We already saw some shifting alliances happening in the Middle East right as Gemini season began. So watching out for that prediction. We made a lot of predictions about cryptocurrency that have been coming true. And we have so much happening. We've got Pluto going back into Capricorn from Aquarius later in the year. We've got the summer solstice, a couple of more eclipses, but the year really is split almost
It
neatly
is.
in half with Jupiter and Taurus and Gemini. So you might even want to do a ritual. Again, that's very Pisces full. Pisces quarter moon. Pisces loves a ritual. I would do it with water if you
Yeah, some kind
could.
of like a,
A
sort of
release.
a release ritual. I mean, Jupiter was in Taurus from May 16th, 2023 until Saturday, May 25th of 2024. So that was a whole year where, you know, and Jupiter doesn't really feel that comfortable in Taurus. It's kind of, it can because it likes to indulge, and Taurus does too. It's not bad, it's not good, but Jupiter in Gemini is not a comfortable place. It's in detriment in Gemini, meaning it's in one of the places in the zodiac that is counter to its true nature. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which is Gemini's opposite sign. Now, all of a sudden, it's in this unfamiliar territory. It's about Jupiter wants to expand and go big and not sweat the small stuff. Gemini likes to obsess over the details. But back to the Jupiter-Pluto trine, though, the last time that came around was in 2016. There were three of them in Earth signs. That was when Jupiter was in Virgo, and and
Pluto
Pluto.
was in
I'm sorry,
Capricorn.
Pluto was in Capricorn. Jupiter was in Virgo. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are in air signs, and this won't happen again until 2028. So you mentioned, Ophi, people wanting to maybe bring some things out into the open, like go into
Yeah, and I
the
just want to
treasure.
note that those were all 3 election years in the United States too.
Oh
So
my
what's up with
God.
that? Yeah.
That is so, wow, right. 2016.
So
Jupiter, Pluto.
Pluto can be shadowy figures getting illuminated, and Pluto rules power and power mongers. So, a lot of the political mudslinging is certainly about to occur with the air
And we
trine.
and we did say in our book that AI was likely to meddle in elections, which really holds for air signs, which are all about the spread of ideas, like media, and it's going to be hard to believe
Yeah.
anything right now. But yeah, that's true. Those Jupiter Pluto trines were in Earth signs then, and much more conservative energy, and it kind of brought about that like shocking, you know, all the stuff that was buried, all these conservative values that suddenly had this voice, and but also became this divisive, and people's values
A lot of
divided.
things crawled out of the woodwork in that Earth trine of 2016, like
Yeah.
coming out from the ground.
Now
Got a
they're
little
coming from
creepy
the
crawly.
air, what's in the ether, what's being,
What's being broadcast or sent across airwaves or star links or
even on
satellite.
I know, even on, it's, I mean, not to be all conspiracy like, but even in terms of like signals, radio signals or waves, sonic waves that we're not even aware. I mean, I've got my Apollo Neuro band that I wear that sends little pulses to keep me focused. I mean, that's the sort of thing that can, be happening on this very subliminal level with Jupiter-Pluto trine in air signs. And it's not just, I mean, that kind of sets the stage for energy that's going to be going on for a while. Jupiter and one thing that I would also say, in addition to bring Jupiter bringing things out of hiding, we may want to put things in hiding a little more. We would probably be more protective of your data, your trade secrets, be more cautious about, what digital files you open, what you click on, what you download, what you buy into, what ideologies.
And the air you breathe, really, in so many ways, the information you take in. Yeah. So.
Oh, what a week, I mean, it's going to be, we're going to have to think on our feet a lot more starting this week. And that's the vibe that's there.
So I would say just like, if you notice yourself suddenly getting very analytical, mental, anxious, nervous, ungrounded, feeling like all your electronics started waking up or breaking down, I think it's an integration of this new Gemini phase we're moving into. It always sort of sorts itself out. Next week, we have a Gemini new moon, which I think will help with that. So, and we'll be back to talk about that with you then. So make sure you grab your 50% off 2024 horoscope if you don't have it, to get all the information about what's ahead for you, your sign, your people's signs, and the world.
And if you have the big book, maybe you don't have the individual sign planner. We did a special Year of the Dragon edition where we did planners for each of the 12 signs that you can, if there's someone who likes to jot everything down in a calendar and just have
and maybe
one.
You will, now that Jupiter's in Gemini and it's all about writing things down. I feel like totally. And of course, get your Astrology Advantage hardcover if you want to be entered into our reading pre-sale giveaway and part of all the great Summer of Success stuff we're going to be announcing next week. So just good luck. Find your cosmic twin, your astro twin, your people that you
grab your journal. Grab your journal.
Get it out of your head. Just get it out of your head is kind of the mandate now. So have yourself a great week, and we'll see you at the new moon next week.
Bye. As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrocell.com, and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.